This is the most nerve-wracking thing to start. So I'm just going to start. I kind of wanted to sit down and do a wrap-up for 2021. So a lot of good things happened, a lot of bad things happened, a lot of highs, lows. Some of the probably lowest lows in my life probably happened this past year. So I kind of wanted to do a little wrap up and a little reintroduction to kind of what 2022 is going to be about for myself and Power Design and kind of moving forward. I'm starting a show called Do You Know Designers, and I kind of wanted me to be the first guest. So this is pre-Do You Know Designers launch with Cameron Davis, and we're going to talk about 2021. So kind of to kick this off, I wanted to talk about the biggest punches in the face of 2021, kind of the hardest moments, the things that I didn't expect to be so hard and really gotten in my way. And I felt like were also the biggest growing moments. So number one being fake designer coaches that I thought would be very helpful when I first started. So when I lost my job, I really didn't know what to do. So I went out to try to find other designers and people really doing it and people trying to help designers be better and better about their business. And I really ran into a bunch of people who called themselves design coaches who were really just trying to squeeze money out of me and squeeze time and effort out of me. And really wasn't a very positive experience. And it's always funny because people talk about people who don't know how to do, they teach. And I felt like and that's not always true, but I felt like I ran into a lot of people who decide to teach to make some money off of other designers because their businesses weren't working for themselves. So that is my biggest warning for newbies out there. I know you'll feel a little imposter-y. You won't have all the confidence in the world, but definitely be careful of those types of people because they are out there and they're just trying to sell to other designers when in the scheme of things, we should all be trying to run our business to make money and support our clients that actually need our design work, not other people who are in our field, like how multi-level marketing schemes work. We shouldn't be trying to operate like that. We should be trying to actually make our businesses work. So that was probably number one. I didn't have a lot of confidence coming in, so that's kind of the game when you don't. Number two is working with clients that are challenging because I didn't speak my mind or I didn't set my process right. So I had one client this year that was turned into a big mess. We'll just keep the name out of it. We were pretty much 3/4 through my process on the way to being done and sending the final files when this person says they hate everything we've done up to this point and that I gypped them and I disrespected them and didn't do the work to the level that they know I'm able to. And being honest, there was red flags 2 meetings before this to where the person was saying yes with no feedback to everything. Yes, I like that. Yes, I love that. Yes, yes, yes. And I felt like nothing was getting challenged, nothing was getting pushed on, and I should have been looking for the challenges and asking the questions, but I didn't do that. And really during those moments, is make or break for the design process and the work you get on the other side. Because I always say great design comes from challenging each other and like letting each other know how you really feel about stuff and being honest. And without that, you just get some one-sided situation that most people aren't going to be happy about. So I really learned from that situation that it's so important to make sure that your contract is ironclad. It tells people exactly what they're going to get. It tells people what this process is going to look like. And it also has a termination clause in it where either one of you can walk away at the end of the process, in the middle of the process with no stress. Mine says that at any point, if we feel that this isn't working out, someone just has to send an email that says, hey, I'm not liking this situation, let's end it, and it's over. So making sure you have a termination clause that you can flex, but also in that contract, making sure that when you get paid, part of that money is for that beginning effort, and a client can't take that away from you. So I do 50-50, money up front, money at the end, and that beginning half, that down payment, is non-refundable. So I really learned from that situation how important contracts are and making sure that you've set yours up to where you win, because that's the most important. You got to feed your family. This all has to end at a net positive for the designer doing the work. So our clients too, but we always have to. We're more likely to look out for our clients than ourselves. So make sure that we're looking out for ourselves. I would say number 3 in all this, the third biggest punch in the face, had to be working with friends and keeping it professional. I had a situation where, again, it wasn't completely written out what the project would entail, and it wasn't completely written out, and the other person didn't understand how much this product normally costs. So without them knowing the details of what we were going to be doing and then the details of how much this normally costs, my time was completely disrespected by the time we got to the end of it, because they were expecting more and they didn't pay for more, or they got a discounted rate, and there was no contract signed because they were friends. So it's really just about keeping things in friendship as professional as possible. You want to keep your friends, so in order to do that, you have to be even stricter with being truthful and honest to what they're going to get. We all like to try to be nice to our friends, but there's a downside to being too nice, and you get walked over because and then you regret it and regret working with them. So always, when it comes to friends, family, people close to you, make sure there's ironclad professionalism and contracts, and everything you would do for a normal client, go a little bit further with friends and family, just to make sure everybody's in the know and knows what's going on. That would be number 3. Number 4 would definitely be business. I feel like business punched me in the face. The business part is so hard. I will have to say that, like, in this country, we talk about business in a way where it feels like everyone should be doing it, and it should work so easy and so fast, and finding clients should be the easiest thing possible. And something I learned this year is how slow it actually moves, and how this is a game of getting your name out. And when you really think about it, you might get your name out in a week to 2 new people. So how many people do you need to get your name out to before you're actually making good money? It's a lot of people. So it takes freaking time. And the thing that I learned about the design business, the biggest thing is I didn't know what B2B meant, but design works as a business to business type of business. And a lot of things in the marketing world and just being in the business world is set to work for business to consumer type businesses, like this water or candy or whatever. It's more set up for that. So going in, I was very naive to how business to business works and how slow it moves. And it's just a game of sowing seeds and getting to know people and kind of laying the groundwork. And until you lay all the seeds out there, you don't know what's going to come of them. So you just have to continually lay seeds, and you think it'll be, I laid 7 seeds. I talked to 7 new people this month. Great. I'll have 7 new clients next month. No, it might not be till the run cycle for a business to business company is like 18 months. It might be 18 months before someone comes back to you for that business and that interaction. So it made me realize, like, this is just a game of working on your relationships and staying close with people and letting people know what you do and why you do it. And it's just a game of just keep going. So I learned that things go slow, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with moving slower, but you just have to be ready for it. So that means you have to have money behind you, or a job to keep you going, and just go with the rhythm of it, and don't get disappointed when things move slower than you think it will. And in those downtimes, I spent time raising my prices and figuring out what it costs to add $4,000 more to the ticket price. Like, what does it look like? So I was able to kind of move my business forward in like a leap, like really quickly, just because I had so much downtime to do it. I was in a better position to where I had kind of a little nest egg under me for a whole year to kind of keep me going. So 2021 was pretty much completely funded. So right now it's kind of a little different, but it's really hard. Business is hard. And a lot of things just aren't set up to award you for starting your own business. So it's a great to be in control of your life and have ownership of that, but be ready for it to be hard, because only 3% of businesses like actually work. 97% of businesses fail, and then of that, I think it's only 5% of those make it after 5 years. So business is hard. It's not anything that is for the faint of heart. So correct me if I'm wrong on that stat, but I'm pretty sure the stat is basically to say that businesses fail. So be ready for it to be a long, grueling, hard road. And so my last punch in the face would have to be the fact that something that I feel like is very hard still for me is to see how little Black designers are out there. And then so there's a stat from like 2018 that says that 3% of designers are Black, which is a very small number. But that shows that we don't appreciate the medium, and we don't appreciate the type of work it is and we also don't get the opportunity to go and spend the time that we need to get into design, which does take the money up front and does take the time and the effort and knowing people. We just don't know those people. So that was really just a punch in the face to trying to find people to connect with, and even in trying to find consumers and people to sell to. When I try to reach out to people who look like me to kind of be like, well, I do this, because we're so behind and don't know as a community about design and about branding, they don't know and don't value it. So I'm sitting here educating people who probably won't get it. So there was a lot of time up front spent on, I was trying to help support my community, which not trying, but I still work to do that. But when people don't get what you do, it's very hard to do work and be appreciated for the work you do. So that's just something I had to learn. There's nothing to be bitter about, but it's just, you might have to take it elsewhere until they get it. So definitely learning to deal with being different. But it's not anything new for me. I was like in college in engineering, I was one of the only Black kids in most of my classes. So it's not a new environment. It's just tough to see that, like, again, you're on your own trying to figure this out. You don't feel like you fit in trying to figure this out. You don't feel like this path is right for you. There's a lot of imposter syndrome that comes with that. So I would definitely say that, like, that's hard, but I understand, and I'm trying to work to, hopefully my legacy is bringing more people into this that look like me, and giving them the mentoring and the knowledge that they need to kind of pick it up and get going. Because when it comes to lifestyle, this is a great job to have when it comes to lifestyle, because you're working from home, you're getting to be around your family. I get to see my kid like every day. Like it actually is a beautiful thing. So that's I hope that more people that look like me end up over here. So okay, so we talked about the 5 punches. We're gonna go punches, then we're going to go to my wins, and then I'm gonna let you know what I kind of got going. So let's talk about some wins from 2021. I would definitely say the first biggest win is definitely the projects we got to work on. Like, we got to work on some really cool stuff, and some of it hasn't been shown yet. Probably a lot of it hasn't been shown yet, but it's coming, and just some really fun stuff. And then, like, some stuff I didn't expect to kind of pop in there, and then some stuff that was just like people gave me a lot of freedom to kind of be creative, but also give their opinion. So some really good work came out of it, and that'll be kind of flowing out here. And just even with the downtime, being able to spend time in design, coming up with my own projects and doing my own work for myself, I feel like some of the best work that I've done, it has been for like just out of my mind. So that's definitely something I would, if you have time, you have the time, you have the, go ahead and do some personal projects, man. Really dive into the things you want to learn. Like, there's a lot to learn and there's a lot to see. So client projects are great and they pay the bills. I do understand that, but personal projects are also important to kind of keep that drive going in you and keep you from being burnt out. So did some great work this year. I'll definitely say the number 2 on this one is we did a business expo in September, and I was so surprised. We had all of our signage up. We had like a big like poster with all our old logos and like our tagline. And I will say it grabbed people's attention. Like, it was so cool to see that like all this, and the logos on there were just like logos from like when I even started. Like, so it wasn't like anything that was like super cool, tricked out, new. Like, it was just like work, like all of our work up there, and people, it was grabbing people, and people were like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh, what do you do? And before I knew it, like my booth had more people in it and more, like I've talked to so many people compared to the rest of the people that were there. So that was an amazing experience to see it just grab people's attention like that. And then number 3, I will say, is I met some really great people this year. It really was surprising. Like, I will definitely say, if you feel like you're alone in this design game and you don't know anybody or want to know more people, get out there on Instagram, Behance, Dribble, and just message people, asking them to sit down and chat. Like, had to message at least 40 people to sit down and chat, 40, 50 people to sit down and chat all of 2021. And I'll say I sat down and talked to at least half of them. And it was great conversation and a new contact, and got to talk about like our struggles that we were all going through. So if you ever feel by yourself, then get out there and shoot some DMs. I'm telling you, people are way nicer than you think. And that's a big lesson that I learned this year, is like you're having, even if you feel like you're having the hardest time of your life, you're reaching out and letting people know that you're having a hard time. They are there for you. So that was really dope. This one feels weird to brag about, but number 4, we made almost $20,000 this year, just in design work alone, which isn't like I know like some people would be like, well, you quit an engineering job where you're making like $80K. Okay, but to make $20K yourself and like own it, and like your processes, and you're like, it's only going to go up from there. But to see that, like, wait, this kind of works, like what we're doing, we can do this. Like, so that was amazing. And I'm just excited to kind of keep going and keep making relationships and keep working with people who really need it and really helping people. So that was crazy, like crazy. And the last one, which is going to surprise a lot of people, I kind of got a job. I got a job. So I know that sounds weird. Let me explain it. I was doing some freelance work for a branding agency here in town called Historic. And I was doing like some freelance work, just doing some stuff they needed done. And one day they asked me to join. They were like, hey, I'm going to send you a Zoom link. Or first off, they asked, how interested would you be in a job? And like I said, this has been hard. Like, trying to build clients. At the beginning, I thought clients were going to come so easily. I was like, we got this. And now we're at the end of the year. The little funding we had is kind of long gone. So it's been like a hard couple months. So it was a decision that I made to kind of help support my family in this situation. So they asked how interested you are, and I was like, I'm interested. And then they were like, well, let's hop on a Zoom meeting. You can talk to the owners and you can talk to me. So I sat down, talked to the owners, talked to the art director, and man, it was a great conversation. They're doing great things. They just wrote a book about culture and like how important culture is to business and branding. And they're strategy led also, like me. And they're just, when it comes to design work, the design work they are doing compared to the rest of the Phoenix area is so far ahead. So I felt like it was a great opportunity to team up with a great business and learn as much as I can. And I was afraid that when I first was asked, I was afraid I wouldn't be able to do power anymore. But again, like I said, the owners were great, and they were just like, we want you to do your own business. We want you to do your own design, because the design work you're doing at home will keep you from being burnt out from the work you're doing with us, because agency life is quick, fast. So if that wasn't on the table, if I wasn't able to still do power, I probably wouldn't have taken the job. But I am still able to do power, and I get to team up and work with a great business and great owners. So that was a big win of this year. And like I said, to go and kind of fund some of our life and then learn, and you really can't ask for more than that. So that was 2021 in a nutshell. Like, it was a big year. A lot of stuff happened. I'm going to drop a clip in here from when I lost my job and how I like felt and how down about it I was. And I know that 2021 is going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. It's going to be stressful. But I kind of want to kind of get ahead of that and know that things are going to go well for me. I'm going to live in an abundant mind state. Things are going to come to me because I am open to things coming to me. Finances are going to be all right. Ideas, creativity is going to come. Clients are going to come because I am open to that, and I know abundantly it will happen. I've always lived kind of in a scarcity mind state, probably before now, until like my whole life before now was probably that way. I was afraid. I was like, my biggest fear was that I would not have a job, and I would let my family down, and we'd be poor and we'd be out on the street. But I mean, I don't have a job right now, and I don't feel that way. I feel that things will go my way because I'm open to that happening. I want every one of you out there who feels like you have something in your life that is not going your way, and you feel like you're unhappy and you feel stuck. I want you to go out there and change that one thing. Go out there and do something differently that makes your life better, because you can. And how I was telling people, if you feel like you need to go do something else, go do it. And I wanted to drop that clip in because I'm here. Like, I'm doing it. I said I was going to do it, and I'm doing it. So I want to give everybody else that opportunity to, if there's something out there you want to go do, you need to go do it. And so that leads into kind of I want to also kind of go into what's coming next. So with 2022, I want to start this off right. Our why for all of this has always been to bring people value, to bring value to the valueless, so the people who feel like they're valueless. And that's because at one point I felt valueless. I felt like my life wasn't worth anything. The work I was doing was not worth anything. And this year we're doing things to make sure that people know that they're loved and that they're appreciated, and that being human is a great thing. Like, being human is the most important and most, we're all together in this. And you start feeling like, when it comes to like social media and marketing, and you start feeling like a number, you start feeling like you're in this algorithm, and you're not. Go meet people. People are real. Go, if you need the Instagram to find people, find them and go meet them in real life. So we want to keep our why the same, but grow that why into like being more human, being more connected, being more for the people. So this year I'm starting a series called Do You Know Designers? And that whole series is about just asking random questions to the designers I know in my life. Some of those questions are goofy. Some of those questions are serious. Some of those questions are about design. But it's really just to show that designers have they're full people. They're well-rounded people. They have a life outside of all of this. We're not just machines that print that spit out logos. That's not, we're full people. So I kind of wanted to create a show that was fun, but also like showed how human we all are. So that's Do You Know Designers? And this is, like I said, this would be the first pre-episode to all of this. But I wanted to kind of preface it and let you know what would be going on in it. And we got some cool guests. We got first guests. We got 3 guests recorded already, and one guest is pretty large. So one guest is huge already. So to kind of keep that going and have fun with it, and it might not be on an incremented basis every week, 2 weeks. I don't know. I'm just gonna let it flow, let it happen, and meet some really cool people and take you guys on the journey to really see that. So when you see all that stuff start dropping, please go like, comment, pass it around, have some fun with it. I'm going to cut it up into a bunch of clips that will be silly, and we're going to just spread it out there and just show how fun it can be to be designers and how we're all human in this. We're all together. The first episode is going to come with a giveaway. So I want you to be ready for that. And I think the first episode will probably be the 2nd or 3rd week of January. So I'm going to drop the pre-episode, probably this episode that you're sitting in right now, probably next week. And then that do the giveaway and then do that first episode after the giveaway. So we're going to have some fun. 2022. Yes, we're still in this weird situation. The world's still not completely right. But let's have some fun. Let's be more connected than ever. And I hope one thing that shutting everything down showed everyone is that we need to be together and we need to be connected and we need to be human. I, again, thank you if you watched all the way through. I appreciate you. Everyone who's rooting for me, I'm rooting for you. If you need anything, please ask. Let me know. And like I said, we're gonna take 2022 down together. So please, let's do this. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.